So welcome back to another episode. Welcome back to another Rob. We're having a good summer. We're able to get together quite a lot and do some episodes together, which is always welcome. And today we welcome a very interesting topic. Does video gaming, collecting, does it suck now? Does it suck now? Rob, does it suck now? This is a big topic that we want to talk about. We're going to talk about the early days of collecting, what it used to be like, where it's kind of gone, and where it's going, and the end result. And I think what kind of started it for us was when Mario 64, a copy of it sold for $1.5 million. I think for me and Rob the most, we were there day one of the N64 and bought our copies of that game. And for that to be worth that much money, it seems insane. And it kind of made us question everything that we're doing with collecting and that all over the years. And so where do you want to start from with this?
Well, I think an important thing to look at is that to me, and I'm going to make a disclaimer. Yeah. Okay. My opinion, everybody. So this is not necessarily John's opinion or anyone else's opinion, just me. So, if you want to be mad at me. Collecting retro collecting has now broken into, to me, basically two categories for the most part. Okay. There's the old school nostalgia collecting, like we do.
Right.
Where it's games that we've played, that we love, that we enjoyed, that we want to have so that we can experience them again at our leisure, and so that we can see them in our collection. I mean, every once in a while, as we've said, we'll walk into our game rooms and just stand there and look at the shelves and just, see the memories wash by.
Yeah, I was away for a week. I came back and walked in, and I was just like, oh, it feels nice. It's like, it's not like, oh, it's money. Or, it's anything like, it's like, it means something to me. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, a prime example that I recently replayed through Wild Arms.
Yeah.
Because I went down to my basement and went, yes, I want it. And I put it in, and I played it, and I loved it. Okay? But then you've got stuff like this Mario 64.
Yeah.
It sold for $1.5 million. It was VGA rated, factory sealed. It's in a Lexan box. That game is going to spend the rest of its life sealed in that hard plastic case on a shelf, and some guy is going to be able to point out and go, I paid $1.5 million to have it.
Well, that's fine. I have a lot of things that I haven't opened as well.
Yeah, but you didn't do it because you want it to be worth money someday.
So you're saying that it's a prestige thing, that he's just there bragging it, going...
That's my opinion. I feel that they're, and that kind of collecting... And that kind of money throwing is what's already destroying the retro market.
And what Rob's getting into here, the thing I definitely understand, is prices are going to go through the roof, and they already were. Back in 2008, when I started the show, things were getting a little bit goofy, and then when we started the show, all of a sudden things got really goofy. Prices started to rise, and I'm to blame for this. Showing my collection, showing games I loved, and people are like, oh yeah, I love that game too, I'm going to go pick it up. And so it started that snowball effect.
Yes, but also the sort of more open acceptance of nerd culture and more people getting into it also contributed to it. But it's gotten to a point where retro collecting is almost unobtainable for a lot of people. And then this whole emulating versus buying physical copies becomes a big deal. But I mean, I used to be able to. And you remember.
I do.
And for those, there used to be a Salvation Army store here in New West when we were both living here. And how many times I walked in there one day and walked into their electronics. They knew me by name. I knew all of the staff. And there was a TurboGrafx 16 with all of the original cables, the controller, and about 15 games. And I picked that up out of the box, and I brought it over the counter, and I paid $15.
Yeah.
And I took it home. And it's still at my home. I still love it. I play it when I can. It was acceptable. I could go in, I could pay $15. Cool. And I have this piece of history, and it's mine.
Yeah.
And I love it. And if there were two, I would have only bought one.
Yeah. Right? Remember, you could go to a used store and go, oh, look at this. I remember going and buying PC Engine games back in the day for $5 to $10 a piece.
Remember that great little shop by Surrey Central?
Yes.
We've been talking about lately?
Yeah, I walked in and bought Neo Geo games for $25.
Right.
Back in the day. And all of that.
And now, if you want to try and forget it.
You can't do that anymore.
You can't. No, you can't.
You might be able to go to garage sales, and maybe, but people are getting
savvy. They're all savvy to it.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, they should be savvy to it because I bet a lot of this stuff is worth some money. But you'll never have that experience in 2008 and going and really finding something wild in the wild.
And it's that worth some money thing that's where I get a bit irked because no, I'm not wanting them to not get good value out of it.
Right.
But by the same token, those that have that much money to throw around,
well, 1.5 million is insane.
Inflate the cost of the games for everyone else, so that if you've got younger kids coming in who want to experience the history of gaming to see where it came from, can't unless they emulate.
And I've always said in the show to emulate.
Yep.
If you can,
honestly,
like, what are you gonna go play Snatcher? Go emulate it. You know, go and emulate it. Experience it that way because it's out of the realm of reality now.
You can't anymore.
No, and then we have some companies like Limited Run.
Okay,
this is another topic, and I like Limited Run.
Love them.
But they came in and they started, as you were talking about earlier, start bringing out physical copies for games that didn't have a physical copy. Yeah. So it was cool. It was like, they were only digital only. Like, oh, we can get this, right? So like Scott Pilgrim, great example of it.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yes.
But, you know, like any business, it starts getting bigger and bigger and they start getting more games and more games. And then all of a sudden, special edition versions of those start coming out, creating like an artificially created collectability.
Yes.
And so it's like, oh, well, I'm a fan of Scott Pilgrim. I can't just get the game. No, there's this special editions, all this extra stuff, and oh, I kind of like that, and shirts or vinyls, and it's like...
And you absolutely know that when they say they're only going to do one run of it,
that's it.
They mean it, and they stick by it.
And so that's hard for people who are fans of games. Like, it's like when that Castlevania big collection came out, oh my God, me and Rob were on the phone about it, and I was like, man... I want it, but it's so expensive. I don't want to, but I love the series so much that I feel if I didn't get it, I need to get it because and it's pulling the heartstrings, and I'm getting suckered in. I'm a grown man. I get suckered in myself.
Hell, you know what? I bought that Blaster Master 0 and 02, the big deluxe Uber one, right?
Yeah.
With the little metal tanks and everything, and I was like, oh, I'm so glad I have this. They announced Blaster Master 03. I'm like, okay, well, that's going to be cool to play. And then what did they do? They created a little mini Blaster Master 03 Super Ultimate Collector's Edition that stacks next to the first one with the artwork and everything continuing through.
Yeah.
I can't justify spending that much money that soon after getting the first one.
Yeah.
Again, I can't.
I pulled this out for nostalgic sake. I remember back in the day on the NES, a special edition would look like this. It was just a gold cartridge. It's just like, oh, cool.
And yet in your collection or on your shelf where it was standing up, you would look at it and go,
whoa, there's something
gold one.
It was a gold one. And then I noticed in the PlayStation 1 era, and there's other special editions that came out, but I'm saying when I got Lunar by Working Designs, and Working Designs started putting out these special editions, which we loved. And we thought they were awesome. They were a niche market, and it was a kind of a cool thing.
They were incredibly few and far between.
And then,
when Working Designs localized something, you knew it was awesome.
Right. And then over the years, and it started, into all the systems after that, little special editions here and here, all of a sudden it started coming out a little bit more. And it was like, it wasn't too much back then, because you go, oh, it was like a couple of a year you get, but then and we get excited, oh my God, a collector's edition was a big deal, where now everything's a collector's edition. Isn't it? And I'm picking on Limited Run and for a little bit here. They have a game, it'll always have special editions. There's always special editions and different versions and variants.
You have multiple tiers. So there's the game, and then there's the game and the soundtrack, and then there's the game, the soundtrack, and the art lithographs, and then there's the one that's a gigantic box that comes with
it's like $500,
new underwear, and $500 worth of groceries, and a grandmother to make you dinner, and a pair of extra shoes, and it's got
it's gotten so carried away.
And all for the delightfully affordable price of $8,000.
Yeah, exactly. I just put up a second mortgage in my house. I could afford a video game.
Woohoo!
Do you know who and you brought it up earlier, and I'm stating it. I feel sorry, because I'm thinking about us when we were younger. Could you imagine being, let's quit a scenario for you. You're young Rob, say you're 18 years old. It's a couple of years ago. But, no.
2 years ago.
But so you're buying the Mega Man games as they're released, right? Yeah. So imagine Mega Man X comes out on the Super Nintendo, but there's also a special edition with a figure and all this. And as a kid, I mean, you work in a part-time job, if even that then.
right?
How are you going to do it? And then you can't. Do you know what it's almost saying? You can't be a fan and collect that because it's out of your
Price
way.
range.
It's beyond taken away from you. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's not like it's $10 more. $10 more.
It's acceptable. That's fine.
Yeah, but that still was it's a lot when you're young.
It's like several $100 more.
Yeah, exactly, and all of that. And so they've almost made collecting almost an adult thing. Only it's all these adults that's buying things. And I'm not saying I'm there doing it.
And I can say I know that they're seeing that those of us that were fans then that have grown up, yes. So obviously we're the ones with the expendable income, apparently.
Yeah.
Right? So fair enough. But at the same time, like you said, what they're not looking at is the younger generations coming up that want to get into this stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And that find it inaccessible.
And then some people say, well, why do you need to buy a special edition anyways? Who cares? And I get that idea, but it's fun.
But that's what
why
did we
we're
love
into this.
about getting a new game in the first place? Taking it home, opening the box, taking out the manual, looking at the artwork, experiencing all of that. And that's what the special, because now when you buy a game, you get a disc in a case.
Yeah.
There isn't even a manual, there's nothing.
Yeah.
It's a disc in a case. And we want that stuff. We're stuff people.
Yeah, we're stuff.
And the special editions give us that stuff.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with buying a game and you're like, a game that you like.
Yes.
And you're like, you know what, I think this may obtain some value in time. I don't think there's a problem with that, but it's just gone completely ridiculous over the years now. I mean, everything's a special edition. Everything is to get a normal copy of a game feels weird. Oh, I just got a normal game?
I gotta be honest, yeah.
It's like, oh, that happened, yeah. That type of thing. We're in a very weird zone. What else do you want to say about all this stuff?
Well, it's what's interesting is, from what I remember, it started with pre-ordering and getting a T-shirt. And the first game I remember doing that was Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Okay? And then I remember I worked at EB Games for many years, and it got to a point where you'd go into the back room, and right above there was a shelf rack.
Yeah.
T-shirts.
Everything was a pre-order bonus.
All those pre-order T-shirts, and any that didn't get picked up, they stayed up there and they stayed up there. And remember, back in the day, I came over to your place because they said, "Go nuts! We want to get rid of these things, get them out of here." And I came over to your house with a friggin' giant bag just full of. There was like a Star Wars Pod Racer T-shirt, and there was a Resident Evil 2, the Resident Evil 3 shirt, I think there was a Metroid Prime T-shirt.
Yeah.
There was just this big bag full of shirts for all these random games.
Yeah, everything had a pre-order bonus with a T-shirt,
but it was always a T-shirt.
Isn't that funny?
That's what then led into the other pre-order goodies, and then those pre-order goodies started being packaged into the game as a limited collector's edition.
Yeah, and I'd go into EB Games,
and you'd go in, and you'd want the infamous Castlevania story.
I was just going to bring up. I know. They sold the pre-order.
You pre-ordered on purpose, and they gave it away anyway.
I know. I was there the next day. Oh, you weren't here the first day? What are you talking about? I pre-ordered it. Anyways, I know.
So it's an interesting arc to see where it started and where it's gone to and where we are now.
Yeah.
And it's
and if anybody wants to collect it like an entire collection for completeness, go ahead.
Yes.
It's not. I think it's for me and Rob. It's not our cup of tea per se.
No.
Yeah.
There's no wrong way to collect. I'm gonna say that there isn't.
No.
But the artificial inflation of the prices due to this almost bragging rights of how expensive your collection is, to me, is heartbreaking. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say, is that it makes me sad.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting so ridiculous. Everything's like factory sealed and like grade 8 and going for but it's going to raise the price on games in general.
I did the other day, just for poops and giggles, I went on to eBay and I was looking at Saturn games.
Oh yeah, jeez.
Okay, and I looked at Saturn Bomberman.
Yeah,
and it was going for like $1,100-$1,200.
It's insane.
And I was looking at it going, that's nuts. Because when I look at my shelf, that's not what I see. What I see is, oh man, an 8-player Bomberman game that you should be able to expand the screen to have the biggest battle map ever.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's like, whoa. It's gone away.
Yeah.
Like most of these games here, even this Fantasy Star 4 right here, I can pull up. I bought in a Blockbuster video. Right? For like, it was $20. I think I pulled out the thing on the side there. Whatever. Right? And I bought it. And it was like, oh man, whew, that's expensive. I just put my, back in the day, got my money together to get that. Where if I was younger, I probably, I don't know.
Couldn't do it.
I'd be an emulation guy as much as possible because I think this stuff has gotten ridiculous.
But again, because we want to experience the game.
Yeah.
We want to experience the game, and then if we can have it to re-experience like this, I think we were lucky that we got into it by just buying games and not getting rid of them.
That's what
and it slowly built up. Because the one question that breaks my heart the most is when people are like, I'm thinking of getting into retro collecting. What should I start with? Because that's not something that has a definitive answer.
No.
What do you love?
What do you like?
If there's a game that you know you liked, you want to play, get it, play it, put it on the shelf. The thing is, this didn't happen overnight. This didn't happen in a year, 5 years.
No.
It happened over like 30-something years. Same with mine. So you can sit there and look at it, but I mean, look at it.
So I had a story of where I lost my Mario 64. I don't know what happened to it. I'm moving, disappearing. It's so weird. It's so weird. Or I still don't know what happened. But you know what? I bought this about 3-4 months ago. I showed it in a new Game Stuff episode where I walked into a local video game store, press start, and I bought this. And is it the nicest copy in the world? No, but you know what? I got it for like $65,
right? And you know what? Honestly, personally, a little bit of wear on them.
It's not just character. I don't care.
It's just character.
I don't care though.
It's like I've said it before. I'll say it again. My Mega Man 1 box for my NES game.
Oh God, yeah.
Is rough as there's holes in the back of it because there were thumbtacks used to put it on the wall at Classic Video.
Yeah.
But that is the box for the very first copy of Mega Man I ever played. Yeah. So I don't care how crappy the condition is.
Oh yeah.
That box means so much in here.
Yeah, my Fantasy Star copy, was handed down all through the generations
the
to
Kato
me.
Copy?
Yeah, the Kato copy, which came to me. The manual is really ratted up, but I don't care. Because it's cool.
But that was the very first Fantasy Star manual you ever looked at.
Yeah, and it was held by so many hands. It has such history. It's great stuff.
So that's what our collecting passion comes from.
Yeah, that's that's kind of like and sure do I have like Resident Evil 2 special editions in the closet over here, unsealed. Yeah, because we're such big fans of it, and so we're guilty of feeding it.
We are guilty of somewhat feeding it. Yes, I mean I have paid larger sums at times for games that I really wanted that were going to be hard to get, like Dracula X on the Super NES. You know, but I wanted it. Because I wanted to play it.
Yeah.
And it's such an awesome entry in my second favorite series of all time.
Yeah. So, it's just gone kind of carried away, and we're kind of in the middle of it, and we're still fans, and we're still like trying to negotiate our way through all of this and go, well, but I don't own anything in my collection that I don't like, that I don't have a personal connection with.
Yes.
You know, I don't have a copy of like NHL 94 going, hey, look at I have no feelings for that. Yeah. Hey, for anybody who loves the NHL 94, love it. That's fine. But it's just, I'm just stating, So what do you guys think of collecting nowadays? Has it gotten ridiculous? Has it gotten crazy? And does it suck?
And what fuels your passion for gaming? Let us know what it is that excites you about collecting. Maybe it's very different from ours. Maybe you're the same. But it'd be cool to see people comparing why.
Yeah, I know. It's a very strange world of video gaming nowadays. That is for sure. So anyways, guys, until next time.